Alright, so I haven't been super active on Wynncraft in a while, but I was messaged about this new update coming out, so I took a gander at the changelog and oh no! I would like to preface, I love Wynncraft. It is genuinely my favorite Minecraft server, but I'm gonna make my bias clear at the start of the video. I do not like this update. I think it's taking advantage of the hype for Fruma to push a blatant cash grab, and that seems to be the general consensus as well. So in this video, I'll be going over the entire changelog so that you don't have to, and adding my thoughts wherever possible. Loot run trials. So effectively, they're nerfing current loot run missions and moving stronger loot run buffs under these new trials, which you can get from the newly added Crimson Beacons past Challenge 20. The trials we know of at this moment are Ultimate Sacrifice, which now disables boons for 10 challenges and doesn't give rerolls anymore, Treasury Bill, which makes you lose a pull every 45 seconds until you gain 20, after which you gain half of your current pulls, and Side Hustle, which reduces your timer to 1 minute until you open 30 chests and rewards 2 rerolls. To be honest, the trials shown off here just feel like a direct downgrade from the system we previously had. Like Side Hustle, for example, you need to open 30 chests in 60 seconds or your loot run is over. That seems absurdly difficult for a 2 reroll trial. That is 1 chest every 2 seconds. Welcome back pre-2.0 loot run maps. And Alt-Sac is just harder with less reward. Since it disables all boons for 10 challenges and you'll probably be getting it mid-run, better hope you don't have any curses, buddy. And I'll quickly go over the missions that are getting changed, added, or removed. Optimism is a new mission that gives a pull every beacon reroll. Interest Scheme is a new mission that gives you extra flying chests at yellow beacons when you get pulls. Safety Seeker is getting taken out back and shot. High Roller now gives 10 pulls in a single reroll. Porphyrophobia doesn't give you pulls from blue beacons, but now gives double the pulls from purple beacons. Materialism no longer prevents the yellow beacons from appearing. Backup bead now counts time gains, cut short by the timer cap. Also, flying chests have 15% less loot, and you get 1 minute per challenge started and 1.5 minutes when you complete one. Okay. This is a loot run nerf. I'm going to say it for what it is. They are nerfing loot runs in this update. They are gutting current strategies and locking stronger buffs on par with the best missions we have now behind far more difficult trials. Hell, I'm just laughing at the flying chest nerf. Like, yeah, let's remove materialism's ability to hide yellow beacons and then make yellow beacons worse. Like, I don't know. I hope I'm proven wrong, and this is somehow, like, just as fun and rewarding to play as it was prior to the update, but it's looking grim. They are adding the store in-game, making monetary purchases easier than ever. Yippee! So they're making ranks buyable with shares, which is, in my opinion, a really cool idea. It makes it so you can get just about all paid features in the game for free given time. Cosmetic previews are also neat. The store will be accessible through this menu, and they updated some cosmetics and changed the crate opening animation. They also let you preview any obtainable cosmetics before getting a crate, which is a dub. That is a dub. I don't have any problems with them adding an in-game store, and I'm glad they're making ranks accessible to buy with shares. That's about all my thoughts on this section. New store perks. Oh, new store perks. This is the big stinker of this update. So they're adding Hero Plus rank, which is a bridge between Hero and Champion with extra slots, World Event Warp, and a Daily Gathering totem, which is like, I don't have any problem with that, I guess. Glints are a new Silverbill subscriber exclusive cosmetic that adds effects or colors to items that you get from being a subscriber for a while. Silverbill shares will be worth $1 per rather than the current $5, and all current shares will be quintupled in amount after the update. You won't be able to buy or sell shares for a short amount of time after the update, which is like, sure, I guess. They are also adjusting rank perks. You won't lose any rank perks after this update drops, and will gain any new ones if applicable. Players who join after this update will only start with 3 character slots. Champion will have 15, and the deletion timer is a lot shorter. Guild icons are now obtained via guild boosts. It isn't specified what rank this applies to, but you gain 6 ability points at the start of the game, but gain them slower to compensate. You can also teleport to world events. VIP rank no longer gives extra trade slots, and Champion gets a max of 20. Hero and the new Hero Plus rank get access to the priority queue. Meanwhile, Champion gets access to the Super Special Boy queue, but loses its extra slots. Finally, Hero Plus and Champion get gathering totems every day, which has a 30% chance to double material gained from gathering. So, first of all, 3 character slots. 3 character slots. Players who join after this goes live will not be able to play all classes without getting rid of their progress. Currently, new players start with 6 slots. They're having that and expecting new players to either cough up $12 or grind a shitload of money in order to experience the entire game. And ability point loaning. This is just straight up a pay-to-win feature they're adding. If you've ever done Nest of the Grootlang's guild raids, you've probably encountered a far lower level player who outperforms you. Congratulations, you've encountered a level scale build, and they're a staple in Grootlang's guild raids. Depending on how many extra ability points you might have, by level 60 or so, you could have a huge edge in terms of your ability tree compared to your free-to-play peers. Additionally, speedrunning. While a small subset of the community would require you to pay to compete, which is cringe as fuck in my opinion. VIP rank will no longer grant extra trade market slots, which is just insulting piled on top of the other changes in this update. Why even do this? Meanwhile, champion rank gets 5 more. I gotta move on. They're reworking some existing bombs. Item bombs now give you a tier 4 chest worth of loot, party bombs have a disco effect, and ingredient bombs now give 16 ingredients. They're also adding new bombs and consumables. Loot chest bombs will increase loot amount from chests for 20 minutes, XP tokens will give you free levels, daily raid and loot run bonus refresh tokens do what you think, same with guild rename tokens, tracker reroll tokens reroll a shiny mythic tracker, and tracker reset tokens reset the tracker to 0. This section is kind of funny to me. The XP tokens would be a huge problem if they could be easily purchased, but Wynncraft staff says that they'll be rare and appended to bonus offers, so I'll take their word for it. God help me if they're tradable, though. Loot run refresh tokens as well, basically just grant extra rerolls and pulls, but you get the point, it's pay to win. Tracker reroll tokens completely break the current shiny market. At this point in time, the specific tracker determines the price of a shiny mythic, with good trackers going for 1,000,000 billion stacks, but now they're letting you reroll them, which absolutely fucks over people who grinded for them and makes good shinies a whole lot more accessible without sinking dozens of hours of your life into loot running, which in turn makes them worth a lot less. I don't really have an opinion on this personally. I never really got into shinies because I'm poor. But I just feel bad for people who poured time into getting good shinies becoming victims of Wynncraft's big monetization update. Pet models were also updated to use 2.0's system, and the level cap for non-champion players was raised to 30. At least it's an inarguably positive change for non-champion players. They're gonna make new disguises, okay. The scrap menu is cooler and... wait, what? You can scrap pets? Goodbye, buddy. Finally, festival crates will not be openable between this update going live and their respective festival. So that's it for the store perks section, and it definitely feels at least a little scummy, which is a shame, but I've said my piece about it. Let's move on to the actual gameplay changes in this update. Wynncraft accounts. You can control what info is shown on your profile now, and it's been redesigned. They reworked the item guide, which is great because in my opinion, a good portion of the time when I try to look at materials or armor or whatever, it throws an API error and then dies on me. They added themes to the website and made account linking simpler, more reliable, and offer support for alt accounts. They added new aspects, including but not limited to Aspect of Iron String, which gives phasing Beam Pierce, Clouded Vision, which increases Smoke Bomb duration, Mana Flux, which makes Mana Storm require less mana, Acceleration, which makes puppets and effigies move faster, and Seeing Stars, which increases max discombobulation stacks. Additionally, they reworked a few aspects. Foul Play was renamed to Flamboyance, False Coercing Sandbagging threshold was increased, Ultimate Show was renamed to Malevolent Mischief, and at Tier 1 lets Noxious Gas benefit from an extra debuff, at Tier 2 lets Mirror Image spawn an extra clone, at Tier 3 increases Noxious Gas damage by 1.35% per debuff. If you're wondering what Noxious Gas is, don't worry, we'll get there. Total Obliteration at Tier 2 makes Chaos Explosion no longer cast an extra spell, but is now 33% faster, and at Tier 3 decreases the amount it adds to your mana bank to 25 from currently 30. Exsanguination increases Blood Pool and Bleed duration, Amphibian no longer reduces jump height with each tier, Hyper-Perception reduces counter cooldown instead of increasing activation chance, and Blind Fury at Tier 1 no longer decreases Blood Pact's health cost, but increases Bloodlust damage, and Tiers 2 and 3 just increase Blood Pact's damage. Trickster is getting a rework. So there are now multiple clone types, with mirror clones being the same as current clones, except they cast multi-hit rather than spin on death if you have last laugh. Shadow clones, which are placed and can be teleported to when you spin on death with last laugh. And mirage clones, which appear when you teleport and draw aggro using smoke bomb on death with last laugh. All clones can use Echo to recast spells. There's 4 new trickster-specific debuffs. Confused, which makes mobs hurt themselves, Enkindled, which makes mobs explode, Drained, which grants overhealth when you hit them, and Contaminated, which makes an enemy explode on death and deal area damage. Trickster's also getting a few new abilities. The Malicious Mockery ability, which builds up tricks on enemies when last laugh activates, which can be detonated when you crouch and dash. The Noxious Haze ability, which deals extra damage for each debuff an enemy has, and Foul Play, which makes Bamboozle kill a clone on use instead of having a cooldown, as it's being reworked to have a cooldown by default. Some abilities are getting reworked. Mirror Image clones only tank 25% of the damage of one hit, but grants a strength boost for 3 seconds on death. Bamboozle always casts instead of multi-hit if off cooldown. Sandbagging will now have a percentage-based cooldown reduction. Hoodwink lets you transfer tricks from killed mobs onto living ones. Echo makes all of your clones copy your next spin or smoke bomb after losing a mirror clone. Sticky Bomb is now a yellow node and has been moved to be more accessible to other archetypes, and Blazing Powder no longer blinds enemies. Some warrior archetypes are also getting tweaked a bit. For Battle Monk, Airshow can now only hit a single enemy up to 3 times. A new 1 AP ability called Free Stream Flow reduces fall speed when charting with aerodynamics. Discombobulate is now a purple node and has had its max stacks decreased to 100 but increases by 2 per hit. A new red 2 AP ability called Pressure buffs Scream, Bash, and Uppercut if they activate Generalist. The Aspect Complete Synchrony now boosts Pressure's effects. A new 1 AP ability called Reverberance adds an extra max hit to Airshout and increases its air and thunder damage. A new 2 AP ability called Thaumic Adrenaline increases your lifesteal and regen by 2% for every 1% health missing. Counter now always triggers if hit by an attack, but reduces damage by only 20% and has a 2-second cooldown. Riposte increases counter damage reduction instead of trigger chance and was moved. Aspect of Hyperperception increases counter cooldown now, nerfed Iron Lungs, buffed Airshout, and last but probably least, changed Flying Kick's ability description. For Fallen, Intoxicating Blood's cooldown was increased. The max healing cap is now 30%, and its cooldown is shared among all damaging abilities. Massacre is now a yellow node. Its Corrupted now scales with attack speed. Corrupted increases by an average of 1.5% per second. Powder specials add 3% Corrupted, and it was moved. A new ability called Mindless Slaughter doubles Massacre's strength, but makes main attacks and powder specials deal 1% of your health. Blood Pack now adds 15 to 25% damage based on how much of the spell's cost it covers and boosts damage of abilities activated by a spell. And Armor Breaker's cooldown was slightly decreased. Its duration halved, its damage bonus increased, and its corruption requirement increased. Pack it up, Fallen bros. It's over. They also added a bunch of new shiny trackers, made fall damage protection better, and a whole host of other little tweaks to literally everything that I do not have the time nor energy to read out. Especially in this hot as fuck room. Like, it is 26 degrees in the other room, and I walked in, I was like, oh, it's so refreshing in here. If you're curious, I've linked the changelog in the description for convenience. Anyways, that's the update. Not a huge fan of the increased monetization. I do understand they have a team to pay, but you could literally be donating 100% of the money made from a pay-to-win game to curing cancer and solving world hunger, and that wouldn't change the fact that it's pay-to-win. So, yeah,